I started my day just like any other. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand, expecting to see the usual flurry of overnight notifications. But instead, I was met with silence. No signal bars.
Ravi dismissed it as a temporary network glitch, a common occurrence. He restarted his phone hoping for a quick fix, but the screen remained stubbornly blank, showing the dreaded no service message.
This seemingly minor inconvenience would soon result into a terrible situation, costing me 2 lakhs and shaking my faith in digital security. This wasn't just a technical glitch. I had become the latest victim of a sophisticated SIM swap scam.
He tried calling his wife, but the call wouldn't connect. Growing increasingly concerned, he checked his internet connection, but that too was down.
This was more than just a network issue. Something felt terribly wrong. I decided to step outside, hoping to catch a stronger signal, but the problem persisted.
Ravi's unease grew with each passing minute. He felt a growing sense of fear, cut off from the digital world.
I couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was about to happen.
He thought about all the sensitive information stored on his phone, the banking apps, the online shopping accounts, the personal messages. The thought of someone gaining access to his digital life sent shivers down his spine. He needed to get his phone working again, and fast. The persistent silence of his device was more than just a technical issue. It was a warning sign, a red flag that something was terribly wrong.
My initial reaction was one of disbelief and mild annoyance. I assumed it was a temporary network outage, a common enough occurrence in my area. I tried the usual troubleshooting steps, restarting my phone, checking for network updates, and even removing and reinserting my SIM card. None of these measures seemed to work.
The persistent lack of signal began to upset him, slowly transforming his initial annoyance into a growing sense panic.
The inability to connect with anyone increased my sense of isolation. I felt cut off from the world.
He began to realize that this was no ordinary network problem. The silence of his phone was no longer just a technical glitch, it was an ominous sign. Unbeknownst to Ravi, a cunning scammer was orchestrating a sophisticated scheme to steal his digital identity. The scammer had gathered enough personal information about Ravi, possibly through phishing emails, social engineering, or data breaches.
I provided the stolen personal details to convince the unsuspecting customer service representative to issue a new SIM card linked to Ravi's phone number.
Once the scammer has obtained the new SIM card, they effectively take control of Ravi's phone number. All calls and messages intended for Ravi are now routed to the scammer's device.
I've effectively hijacked Ravi's digital identity, gaining access to his most sensitive accounts.
The ease with which scammers can exploit this vulnerability is alarming. With the cloned SIM card in hand, the scammer proceeded to systematically drain Ravi's bank accounts.
They logged into his banking apps, using the stolen credentials or by resetting the passwords using the OTPs now being routed to their device.
They initiated fraudulent transactions, transferring large sums of money to their own accounts or those of their accomplices.
The OTPs, designed to be a crucial security measure, became the very tools used to breach Ravi's accounts.
The scammer intercepted every OTP sent by the bank, effectively bypassing this security layer.
The speed and efficiency of the scammer's actions were chilling.
The digital nature of the crime made it difficult to trace the funds, adding another layer of complexity to the already distressing situation. The next morning, Ravi finally managed to get a new SIM card from his mobile service provider.
As soon as my phone came back online, I was bombarded with a flurry of bank notifications. Each message brought a fresh wave of dread, revealing the extent of the financial damage. 2 lakhs had vanished from my accounts overnight.
The realization hit him hard. He had become a victim of a SIM swap scam.
I felt betrayed, not just by the scammer, but also by the system that allowed such a blatant act of fraud to occur.
Ravi immediately contacted his bank and the police, initiating the long and arduous process of reporting the crime and trying to recover his stolen funds.
I felt helpless and vulnerable, unsure of what the future held.
The experience left Ravi scarred and deeply distrustful of online transactions. SIM swap scams are becoming more common these days, taking advantage of how much we rely on our phones and online services. These scams take advantage of weak spots in the mobile network system, letting scammers take control of a victim's phone number and their digital identity. The scam usually involves tricking people, sending fake emails, and finding weak spots in security. The scammer's first step is to collect personal information about their target. Once they have enough information, they call the victim's mobile carrier, pretending to be the real owner of the phone number. They say they lost or damaged their SIM card and ask for a new one. With the new SIM card, the scammer gets all incoming calls and messages, including OTPs sent by banks and other online services. Protecting yourself from SIM swap scams requires a proactive approach to online security. One of the most effective measures is to be careful about your personal information. Avoid sharing sensitive details online, especially on social media platforms. Be alert of phishing emails and suspicious links that ask for personal information. Contact your mobile service provider and inquire about additional security measures they offer to prevent SIM swap scams. Some providers offer features like SIM lock, which requires a unique PIN to authorize any SIM card changes. Enabling two-factor authentication, or 2FA, wherever possible, adds an extra layer of security to your online accounts. Regularly monitor your bank account statements and credit reports for any unauthorized activity. Being proactive and informed is the best defense against SIM swap scams. If you find this information helpful, please like